Right, greetings everyone. Welcome to the edited replay for our December Afro Literacy workshop. 100 activities to keep you connected to Kwanzaa, 365 days of a year. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, what is Afro Literacy? Forgive me, I'm Mama Kemi, and I will be your Afro Literacy facilitator for today. Starting with what is Afroliteracy? That is the curriculum basis that we take these four areas: African-centered or worldview, outlook, 5 sense student worldview, scholarly analysis of advocacy, and creativity and publication. And all of that gets you peaceful, powerful, joyful learning for scholars of all ages. It's like teaching to the spirit and getting them fired up to be custodians of their own learning. So let's get started. For those, if this is your first time, Jambo Ekale, Sani Bonani, Nangadev. We're so glad that you are here. I'm Kemi Abifarin. My role in all of this education business, I have a PhD in curriculum development, a master's in interdisciplinary studies. I'm certified in K through 12, and I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, just teaching and educating our people, moving them from can to can. That is what I do. So I hope you do enjoy this session. So we'll get started. I always like to start with a chat check-in. Thank you to those who are live in the session. Those who are watching the replay, check in, send us an email, comment under the video. Who are you? What do you do? What's the name of your business? The age group that you serve and literacy needs. I always love, 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 love to make sure that I am serving the community and helping us in this education process. So we're talking about the Nguzo Saba literacy. That's what we are working with today. And I'm super duper excited to be sharing again this workshop with you all. There is this sheet that you got at the live session, or if you're registered in the Eventbrite, you should have this sheet that you can follow along with. This talks about the agenda for today. And one of the things that I want to begin with today is kind of starting with the foundation. Always, always, always. Before we get into the creativity, it's always about starting with the foundation, right? And so in the sheets, you have the 7 principles of Kwanzaa literacy as it relates to Kwanzaa literacy. So here's the foundation of what we're talking about. Literacy as a collective knowledge, literacy for empowerment, literacy for community development, literacy for economic empowerment, literacy with purpose, creativity and literacy, and then literacy as a pathway to strengthen your belief. So you have all of those things here that will serve as the foundation to what we'll be discussing. And then you also have all of our great scholars who have contributed to that thoughts. And first, I want to start with, we're going to go back to the foundation. So I'm going to come back to the sheet in a second. I always, always, always like to tell the scholars, it's free to put anything out on the web. So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, whatever we're celebrating, wherever we're honoring, we want to make sure that we go to the foundation, right? And so I always say two things. I don't have this included in my book, but you can always go to the official Kwanzaa website. This is linked in the Nearpod. Those who are registered, you will get that link to the Nearpod as well. And you have the official Kwanzaa website that the scholars can use as a reference for any of the projects that they're doing. And you also have, I included, when I find something that's really handy and really user friendly, I always include that in our workshops as well. So this is a little booklet on Kwanzaa. And how they separate it is they have it, of course, the power of one is what they're using. So each one has the principle. It has a symbol, and then it has the meaning of that principle. So that is there. There are so many different ways that you can teach it. But of course, if you're setting up the table on that day, you're going to go over all the symbols. But this is just a way. I'm going to talk a lot about memory, boosting our memory, y'all. We need to do that as a people. Everything is so automatic. So boosting the memory is at the basis of everything that we're doing today. So that's our foundational things that you will have and keep. What I want to talk about today is some general things before we get into doing activities by each principle. You have a sheet. I wanted to make sure that I put together a sheet that has the general things that you can do all the time. One of those things is a list of Kwanzaa books by Black authors. And here are a couple of books, Seven Spools of Thread, My First Kwanzaa, Little Rabbit's Kwanzaa. So you have these general books broken down by age group. And with these books, using them all year round, you can have these general reading ideas. So I invite you to take a look at some activities that you can do before reading, during reading, and after reading. And these are something that this can be applied to any lesson. It just happens to be really good things that you can pull for Kwanzaa 365. I've also included references for art-based things that can be done, and then group and family activities. And if you are looking for more things to do with the book, I encourage you to look at the Afro Literacy session number 4 from November, and that's 100 reading activities to do with your scholar. So these are the general things that I want you to have. Now we're going to switch over to some specific activities that can be done with your scholar for Kwanzaa. So let's switch over to that. And I'm going to give you seven activities for each principle. So you will have 7 activities for each principle. And I really, really, really hope you do enjoy them and you share with me some of the things that you have done for inspiration. So I'm really excited to share this journey. So let's start with Umoja. Okay. So here's 7 activities that I have that you can do for Umoja. One is the Unity word collage, incorporating spelling and art. And with that, you can just brainstorm all kinds of words related to Umoja, togetherness, community, families. You can create free, there are all kind of free word searches that you can create. You can cut them out from magazines. You can write them out. And you can present your collage and explain what unity means. So that also gets into themes. So that's a great activity for theme, spelling, and art mixed together. Another thing that you can do is, oh, I went all the way to the end. My apologies. Let me go back for a moment. Okay, here we go. My apologies. Me and these arrows at the bottom. Another great thing that you can do is the Moja family quilt. You can do this with fabric swatches or paper squares, and you can do what represents, everybody can pick their favorite, right? What swatch, or you can decorate the paper squares. What represents you individually as a family, and put those all together, and you will have your family unity quilt. You have a more just storytelling. Storytelling is one thing that you will see that is an activity that's going to run through all of the principles, because right, we're storytelling people, so that can be applied to any principle. So use it in any way that your creativity, your kumba will allow you to do so. And so with that, gather in a circle, take turns talking about a short stories that happen in your life, or short stories that you create, and talk about how family unity work to solve a problem, like, and be an inspiration and a reminder to each other. There is the Umoja Unity Train. You can take, and I use this activity for different things, just strips of construction paper. You can write a word on there and then link it, tape or paste take it to get together to make a loop, and then you can connect loops and hang it from somewhere. So it can be kind of become a Kwanzaa decoration, like the little loops. One time in a class when we had them going all across the ceiling. So it's just a reminder of the unity loop. So I really like that activity. So moving forward, making sure I go the right way. Okay, so yes, I got the arrows. You can do a moja song or chant. Write a simple song about sticking together, helping each other, and just make sure that we're talking about family, friendship, community. You can record the song together. It could be your family song. So many apps out there for music making. You can do a unity garden. Plant seeds together. Try to start them in the house because of course it's the cold season, and that'll be your plant. Maybe the plant will symbolize somebody in the family, that you all want to remember. But just doing that or making a commitment to plan out a garden for your family and work on it together is another great idea. Then you have one of my favorite is the family mission statement. Like, what is our mission in the community? What is our mission in life as a family? What makes us stronger together? What values are important to us? How can we support one another? So just draft that mission, work on it, make sure it incorporates everyone's needs and values, and make sure post it somewhere. So those are some great activities for Umoja. So moving on to Kuji Chagalia, self-determination. I really love this idea here of this principal tree, this Kuji Chagalia tree. It could be anything. If you have a standing tree, that you have in your house, a paper tree, a cardboard tree, and then everyone kind of adding like a sort of a ornament or a sticker, any creative way. And it's your Kuji Chagalia tree. This is what I'm learning to do. This time practicing self-determination. And that's a great reminder, way to pick ourselves up, pat ourselves on the back, and another way to become the voice in our own head, right? And so another thing is my self-determination story. We talk about that. There's a book by Derek Barnes called I Am Every Good Thing. I have used it in the classroom. Reading stories about self-determination and relating to that character. I used to do a story, the very first Kwanzaa that we did on virtual. I did a story called Imani's Moon. And it's all about this little girl who was just overcoming all these people saying, you're not going to touch the moon. And she made it. And so I have the scholars write, what is your moon? What is something that you have to work really hard at to get there? And I have them write that story. So that's a great activity to share stories, write their own stories, relate to stories about self-determination. You have the self-determination portrait. Create a picture of yourself. Write down goals, aspirations, all kind of things that you want to do or things that you're proud of yourself about. Self-determination, just really seeing it, who you are and how self-determination shows up in your life. Then you have a I am. Do a poetry collage. I am. You can cut and paste, write all of the things that's wonderful about you. I'm resilient, I'm bold, I'm a leader, decorated and hanging up somewhere, or a great gift for parents to give to their young scholars as a Kwanzaa gift. Then, of course, storytelling through dance. Dance is such a powerful tool for us. So, again, self-determination, creating a dance to a song. And then, of course, a vision board of self-determination. What goals do you have that's going to move you towards self-determination? Set those goals, have them written, and have them visible so you can see them. Okay, so the vision board. Again, you will also see in certain, a lot of different principles. It's important to see your vision, map it, touch it, make it tangible. So the other thing with self-determination is, of course, the songwriting. We talked about the songwriting again, and that's going to show up a few times. Moving on, to Ujima. For Ujima, you can have a community problem solving projects, which gets into your research and writing. Put a simple problem on the board of board, construction paper, anything, and then talk about who can help, what organizations can help. Can you help by writing a letter, by participating in a drive that someone is having? Ujima, whether it's food, clothing, anything. So that's a problem solving that you can do for Ojima, picking a project that you can attach to. Not, you don't necessarily have to start something, but you can choose a project that you can attach to. The weaving, I absolutely love this for those who are very hands-on and creative. I look at these projects and get a little jealous. So you have yarn, ribbons, cardboard loom, strips of color, anything that you can use to weave. I love the story, The Seven Spools of Thread, and you can discuss about how the brothers work together, and then you all can use strips of paper, and weave something together. Like everybody can take their favorite color and just put those things together and make a collective work, a cloth of collecting work that represents everyone. And you can even decorate whatever piece just like you did, or you can take from Umoja, like just like you did with the Umoja project. You can take that and make it something similar and make it a woven piece, right? And so there's also we talked about the community solution board. I think with this one, is trying to, we talk about the community, but this one I was thinking of doing something in the house. You know, what is a household problem? We talked about the community one already. The second one I wanted to do collective work and responsibility. What is a household something that needs to be done? Do we need to clean the basement? Do we need to redecorate? Do we need to paint? That's a great time during the holidays or any type of break to get that done. So it could be a household Ujima project. Then you have, go back, moving too fast. We talked about a community garden project. So we talked about Moja. You can make the community garden a larger scale. I know here in our city, we do have community gardens where you can volunteer to work, and then they have a day where they eat together and different things like that. So find a community garden. You have your home garden, and you can find a community garden to participate in, help, and get some fresh foods from there. A skill sharing workshop. If you all decide that you know something, and everyone knows something that's amazing, everyone has this bit of knowledge, something that they need to do, share with someone else. You know, have a workshop, do a video, have a live class. You know, any way that you can share your skills in a way that's going to make our community grow is amazing. And you never know who can use your skills. And then we have also a youth assistance program, making it ongoing. You know, you can join other programs that work with young people. You can decide to adopt someone in the community or look out for someone in the community. Let them know that you're there, because our young people, a lot of times they don't know they have support somewhere. Just a kind word. So those are all our Ujima projects. Then Ujama, cooperative economics. Oh, love it. Family business plan. Absolutely love it. There are so many templates for business plans, and if you can find them out on the web, I have plenty of them if anyone needs them. But coming up with a family business plan, what is it that we can do as a family to kind of boost our own economics? So that's a great activity. You can have a marketplace, have it with friends, with my little ones. I do a mock marketplace where they make all of their activities. They make it out of construction paper, and everybody goes around to the market and they have to practice selling and doing their business. Then there's a part two of the business plan. Part one of the business plan, I believe, let me go back. There were two different styles of business plan. One was knowing the terms. If you're going to start a business, talk about the terms of business. Talk about the terms of finance, how that is related to the business. And part two is having a family business in mind with solving a problem in the community, right? So that goes back to Ujima, and you can connect those two together. Then you have a community marketplace. Take it to a bigger space. With that, I've seen some Kwanzaas that are asking for youth entrepreneurs. I see a lot of in our city, I see a lot of programs throughout the year that is looking for youth entrepreneurs. So getting the scholars ready to really, you know, they can do prototype in with construction paper first, but really looking to see how much would this cost and how can we fill out an application to go and apply in these real life marketplaces. So that's a great activity for that. Then you have local business appreciation, Black business appreciation. Make a list, shout a business out, on however way you can, and take a picture while you're supporting a Black business and challenge other people to do the same. Then financial literacy workshops. We talked a little bit about that. Attending one. There's so many free ones. There's so many free ones for young people. So find a financial literacy workshop that's outside of what you have shared with your scholar. Find another one. There's a lot in the city, and the scholars will be so much better off knowing the financial aspect of how we make it work in this country. And then community investment plan. What is something that you can invest in the community? Even if this, for some people, I might set up monthly donations. People that have a donation, set it up for monthly. Invest in something that's good. And just a little bit of money, $5, $10. Show our scholars how to invest in our communities so that our programs last. Okay, and moving forward to Nia. Moving to Nia. One activity is a Nia wall. And with the Nia wall, you can always talk about your purpose, reflection questions, so that you can see it nice and spread out somewhere in the house. What is my purpose? How does it connect? And again, with purpose, we're talking about restoring our people to traditional greatness. So how can I do that? What are my gifts to do that? If I can change one thing in my community, what would it be? Or do a prompt, where is a world, describe a world where Nia lives. Just different things. Make it a poem, make it an affirmation, anything with the thought so that we keep Nia in our mind. Again, we talked about storytelling earlier. Storytelling is always a great place. Purpose poems. Read some poems by some great scholars, some of our great art scholars. Read some poems, react to them, create the poems, recite the poems. Again, memory is so important for us as a community because we're losing it in technology. We want to make sure that we build it up in our scholars. Vision board, talked about that earlier. Also great for Nia. And then role play. What you can do is have scenario cards, okay? Different scenario cards that describe some community projects and say, how can you, and we know the one thing we can create these with chat, with some work, if you know how to do it, create some scenarios where you put it out there and the scholars have a chance to act out or show you how they would use their NIA. And so just creating situations on how they and how they can role play to benefit their community. Then, of course, songwriting. We talked about that a couple of times and a couple of other principles. And then murals. Oh my goodness. I love this idea with the murals, again, for my beautiful art people. And so it could be a wall, any kind of white paper, anything that you can spread out and just do this Nia mural and just using all kinds of pictures with goals and different things like that and make it a map. This is where we're starting. This is where the goals we want to have. This may be some challenges, and these are our achievements. So that's something that's a year-long wall. If you can have something to take up, pull down, or leave it up permanently, but just charting our Nia is so great to see your progress in any stage, in anything that you're doing. So that's a great project for the young ones. So now Kuumba. 7 ideas for Kuumba. You have your cultural research project. Kuumba, just using your creativity to leave places more beautiful than it was when you inherited. So create a cultural roots poster. Put that up. We talk about an elder talked about all the time. We got pictures of plants and all kinds of arts, people on our wall that we don't know. How about restoring our walls with the people we do know, with our families, passing down their stories? And so it's nothing like leaving the beauty of where we come from and the people that come before us. So that's a great ancestral roots project. A creativity challenge, making parts of the symbols for Kwanzaa. Make the symbols ahead of time. Make a flag, make a kinara, and just really being able to do that and share that with others. You have a community arts showcase. Again, if you're making a kinara and you are super fancy, you can get you some fabric, clay, all of that. Do your 3D sculptures, and you can have an art showcase, like a mock fashion show. Record it, give it to send it for people, share it with families, invite them when you're having family dinners to look at those things. Textiles, great. We've already talked about making quilts and different things like that. You can have create textile art based on certain themes, based on your family's values, based on celebrations throughout the year. You know, there's families that celebrate Umoja Karamo, Black Love Day. You know, create textiles that represents the things that is important to your family. And so you also have a mural of hope and resilience. I love it. Create a mural with themes such as Adinkra wisdom, all kind of Adinkras. I made my students once do proverb hacks. They had to come up with activities or issues or problems that come up in their life, and they had to assign a proverb that went with it to show that our culture has the answers to everything. So you can create murals that have that. You know, any type of paintings, paint it, draw it, print it out, and just have the themes, colors of Africa. I am because we are. All the things that give us hope, that give us power. That's a great way to show Kumba recycled art sculptures. Who knows better than our young ones, our preschoolers and kindergartners, who can take a tissue roll and make it into a beautiful sculpture? I one time gave some preschoolers some old earrings. I had all these African print earrings, and I couldn't find the matches. And I saw it in the most beautiful activities. So recycled art sculptures, the things that you were thinking about throwing away. Used to call it the junk museum. You know, we're headed to the junk museum. Hey, you say junk and I say art. Put it all together or take it all apart. So we had a song and everything, and people would go around to the junk museum. Again, storytelling through song. You know, tell your story. Created a theme, my journey, dreams for the future. Just leaving something beautiful every single day. And finally, Imani. Um, we talked about the chain, the emoji chain. You can do the gratitude chain, all the things that you're grateful for, and hang it somewhere. Let it be a decoration. Then you have ancestral reflections. Again, we talked about that in some of the other projects, taking the family photos. One step forward is doing interviews with the family. I just helped the scholar go ahead and go through her book of family interviews. How beautiful is that to do that and give it as a gift? Just write simple questions, get a picture. That's a beautiful keepsake and faith that we believe in the stories of our family, of those around us to inspire us and keep us going. Then you have making a candle, all kinds of way. Play-Doh, actual candles, actual Nguzo Saba candles, and just putting things that you believe in. You know, just how what has kept your family together? Is it good teachers? You know, people in the community. Just what are the things that has held your family together? And then a vision jar is the next project. A little, those small little jars, canning jars, and then you can put your hopes, dreams, affirmations in the jar, and everything else that's beautiful in the jar. And you can check it throughout the year to see where you are, remind yourself of your vision, and have a beautiful vision jar. Then you have again storytelling, faith in action. Stories like The People Could Fly, story of Araminta or Harriet Tubman. Tell those stories where people have faith and that faith served them. Then we have mosaics, another way that you can represent some art and beautiful things. Construction paper, cardboard, magazines. And with that project, you discuss again, our faith, the faith of someone contributed to a situation. And then you can have different symbols. that you point out that reminds you of the faith, and then put it all together. Put it all together in a mosaic art piece. And then, of course, journaling. What does faith mean to me? Describe a time when faith helped me overcome a challenge. How can I strengthen my belief in myself and others? Keeping those journals, writing about it, returning to it, if not every day, maybe once a week, once a month, because it's a big thing. This world is heavy. So having a space to talk to yourself and remind yourself is very crucial. Okay. So those are the activities that I had, 7 activities for each one, 7 activities for each principle. So if you have questions about those, please let me know. And I will definitely go over those. I'll send you more information if you have specific question. I am putting together a book, 100 Ways to Celebrate Kwanzaa. And so 365 days a year that'll have all the in-depth activities. However, again, you have on the sheet that I've given to you, there are your vocabulary activities, ways, all kinds of ways to deal with vocabulary. So you have that. And so these have a wealth of information on there. And then two, at the end, and I will come tips for encouraging scholars to take on cultural and spiritual celebrations. So while I share with you the Kwanzaa, a lot of these activities can be connected to other holidays and things that you all celebrate. And so some other things that you will get in the Nearpod, hands-on Kwanzaa activities, Center for Kwanzaa. So if you have a kindergartner, there's so many beautiful things that you can do with your kindergartner. And this site also offers you a chance to download it if you would like. They have math. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Little things that you can make. And this person has made it for you. And if you want to do it yourself, of course, Canva is always available. But if you have a kindergartner, that's a beautiful way to celebrate some things with Kwanzaa. Also in here, I've linked a couple of videos about Kwanzaa and the Kwanzaa celebration. So please check that out as well. And then I've also put in here my my storytelling podcast, which also has different activities that you can do with stories, and they always, always, always have a cultural reference to that. And so before I end today, I do want to say, as you are connecting, even if it's Kwanzaa, Black Love Day, Juneteenth, again, all of these activities can be connected. You can go to the library, of course, and find books on any topic. The things that I want us to keep in mind is that when we're doing cultural, spiritual connections and literacy, is make sure that we are connecting to the parts of culture that have a sense of pride and connection. We want to make sure that the storytelling is so important. We tell our middle school scholars, hold it. We need to remember, hold it, and we need to know how to give it. Hold it and give it. Take it in what we're hearing and know when to give it back. Okay. We want to highlight real life heroes. And very often that is beautiful when we're highlighting people in our family, real people who have overcome things, who have done great things. We want to make it as real as possible. We want to make it social, make it very social. Invite friends over, right? Let the friends do some kind of party, some kind of activity with the book. Link it to real life lessons. We want to make sure that we celebrate achievements. Give the scholars some time to have a space in their room as well. Oh, you were able to do this in your room, set up your Kanara or whatever it is, the cultural holiday. Celebrate achievements, small things that they have gotten to master the information for the holiday. Choosing diverse voices, definitely. Getting young people, old people, all throughout the diaspora to see that this is not isolated. Incorporate music and art all the time is a winner. And then empower with choice. And this is what I'm talking about. Let them choose a book. Let them choose what they would like to help with. Those are all of the things that we can connect our scholars to cultural or any type of spiritual holidays. So I thank y'all but taking this journey with me. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to have your feedback. Here is ways to stay connected. Website, register for the next Afro Literacy workshop. If you want a one-on-one curriculum call, you want to get our newsletter that has all kinds of goodies and more freebies, you are welcome to do that. Want to stay connected on Facebook? I do post some things there in between our meetings, and then the YouTube channel, right? Which all the songs and everything's in the podcast will be there. And so I look forward to seeing, interacting, meeting, fellowship with you all soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Kwanzaa holiday break season. Odabo.